Hey everybody, you're back with a Sip with Sam. I am here sipping on just some plain old water, but with a local institution of higher education, well advertised. Hey, we're talking about the Fix Our Forests Act today. That is something we're voting on. This is actually a bipartisan bill. I have the pleasure of voting on a bipartisan bill today. That is not the case most days because we're dealing with something very serious, and that is wildfires. I think we all see the devastation. We all have friends and family, as I do, down in Southern California. They're grappling with this massive fire, or set of fires, I should say. And what we know awaits us is even more daunting. We know climate change and its march are not slowing down. We have 117 million acres in this country of forest that is overgrown and needing maintenance of some kind. Maintenance alone ain't gonna cure it. We know that. We have to do much more about mitigating climate change. But in the meantime, we also have to mitigate. And what this bill does is it provides for fireshed maintenance and adaptive work that will prevent the spread of wildfires throughout our country. Obviously, this is work that's going to take a lot of time, and there's nothing that's foolproof. But what is contemplated in this bill is really expanding what we call fireshed areas, where there are going to be there's going to be active engagement of the community, of Indian tribes, of local community members to ensure that we're doing this right in an environmentally sensitive way. Well, what will be done with these firesheds? Well, fundamentally, maintenance. We know deadwood needs to be cleared. What the bill calls for is hazardous fuels management, prescribed burning, in some case cultural burning in accordance with tribal practices, creating fuel breaks and fire breaks, removing hazardous trees and dead trees, and the whole gamut of other kinds of critical things we need to do, protecting against invasive species of insects, for example, that may destroy our wooded areas. This is work that needs to be done. Now, there has been some divide in the environmental community, and many environmental community organizations that I respect greatly are against this, but there are also environmental groups like Citizens Climate Lobby that supports this. So this was a tough one for me, and I'm a strong environmentalist. I think on balance, we recognize the imperative of doing something critically important now to address this crisis that is growing. And we know there's nothing good for the environment in another wildfire. In fact, obviously, it only accelerates the release of greenhouse gas emissions. So we need to do what we can now collaboratively. We'll continue to monitor the situation closely, and where we see abuses the environment, folks, for example, taking shortcuts for clear cutting, I will be stepping in, pushing hard to do all we can to halt those kinds of practices. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. Look forward to joining you very soon for another discussion of Sip with Sam.